Hello and welcome to Lamplighter. Today is August 16. Today in our daily Bible reading, we continue to read from the prophet Ezekiel. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video, Ezekiel is a bit of a different prophet because Ezekiel is a prophet that speaks mainly from visions he is receiving from God, as well as from spoken messages from God and his angels. But the other thing that we need to remember about Ezekiel is that now we have gone back in time just a bit before the Babylonian captivity, as Ezekiel also is prophesying the destruction of Jerusalem. So in today's reading, Ezekiel is going to bring several denunciations against the nation of Judah for their wicked ways. He's going to address their idolatry, their false prophets, the corruption that is seen in their leaders, their rebellious spirit, and their unfaithfulness, along with a host of other sins. Ezekiel is calling them to task for this kind of behavior and this kind of attitude demonstrated toward their God. Now, as the reading begins today, something very unusual happens. Ezekiel is going to be, while sitting in the company of some elders, taken to Jerusalem to see a vision of what's about to happen. We pick up the reading at the bottom of page 1045. While I was sitting in my house and the elders of Judah were sitting before me, the hand of the sovereign Lord came upon me there. I looked and I saw a figure like that of a man. The Spirit lifted me up between earth and heaven, and in visions God took me to Jerusalem, to the entrance to the north gate of the inner court, where the idol that provokes to jealousy stood. And there before me was the glory of the God of Israel, as in the vision I had seen in the plain. So God is taking Ezekiel to the temple because he wants to show him the idolatrous situation that is going on there in the temple of God. He said to me, "Son of man, do you see what they are doing? The utterly detestable things the house of Israel is doing here, things that will drive me far from my sanctuary? Son of man, have you seen what the elders of the house of Israel are doing in the darkness, each at the shrine of his own idol? They say, the Lord does not see us. The Lord has forsaken the land." Well, it's very clear. God has seen them. He has not forsaken his people. And these elders, these prophets among the people, are very much mistaken. Must they also fill the land with violence and continually provoke me to anger? Therefore I will deal with them in anger, God says. I will not look on them with pity or spare them. Although they shout in my ears, I will not listen to them. God has had enough of the rebellion of Judah. He is going to come in judgment now against those who are idolatrous. And watch this very interesting turn of events. Now the glory of the God of Israel went up from above the cherubim, where it had been, and moved to the threshold of the temple. Then the Lord called to the man clothed in linen who had the writing kit at his side and said to him, "Go throughout the city of Jerusalem and put a mark on the foreheads of those who grieve and lament over all the detestable things they are doing in it." So God is about to separate the people into two groups. Those with a mark who are actually saddened by all of the wickedness and idolatry, and then those without the mark who are the guilty idolaters. As I listened, he said to the others, "Follow him through the city and kill without showing any pity or compassion. Slaughter old men, young men, and maidens, women and children, but do not touch anyone who has the mark. Begin at my sanctuary." So all of those who are idolatrous are going to be killed. Those who have the mark of those who have been repentant, those who have been saddened by the sin of the people, will be spared. I fell face down crying out, Ezekiel says, "Ah, sovereign Lord, are you going to destroy the entire remnant of Israel in this outpouring of your wrath on Jerusalem?" That's going to be a common question from Ezekiel and also the other prophets. They are always concerned when God comes in his wrath, is he going to destroy all the people, even those who are innocent? And God will show his answer to that question as we read on in today's reading. But there's a sad little subtitle here that says, "The glory of God leaves the temple." The Lord said to the man clothed in linen, "Go in among the wheels beneath the cherubim, fill your hands with burning coals from among the cherubim, and scatter them over the city." The cloud filled the temple, and the court was full of the radiance of the glory of the Lord. The cherubim went in whatever direction the head faced, and then the cherubim rose upward. These were the same living creatures, Ezekiel says, that I saw by the Kebar River that we read in the opening statement of Ezekiel. But notice this at the top of page 1048. "Then the glory of the Lord departed from over the threshold of the temple and stopped above the cherubim." God has left the temple, the place that was built to honor his presence, to honor his name. He is there no more. The corrupt leaders are going to be judged next. The Spirit lifted me up and brought me to the gate of the house of the Lord that faces east. There at the entrance to the gate there were 25 men, and I saw among them Jaazaniah son of Azar and Pelatiah son of Benaiah, leaders of the people. And the Lord said to me, "Son of man, these are the men who are plotting evil and giving wicked advice in this city. They say, 'Will it not soon be time to build houses?' This city is a cooking pot, and we are the meat." And God says, "Therefore prophesy against them. Prophesy, son of man." Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon me, and he told me to say this. "This is what the Lord says. That is what you are saying, O house of Israel, but I know what is going through your mind. You have killed many people in this city and filled its streets with the dead." So God is coming in judgment upon these corrupt leaders that should have been examples and good influences on the people, but have certainly failed in that responsibility. But God also is going to be bringing some good news. Among all of this evil, among all of this judgment, the demonstration of God's anger and wrath, he is also going to promise restoration. This is what the sovereign Lord says: "Although I sent them far away among the nations and scattered them among the countries, yet for a little while I have been a sanctuary for them in the countries where they've gone." God says, I haven't left them. I haven't forsaken them. Therefore say, this is what the sovereign Lord says: "I will gather you from the nations and bring you back from the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you back the land of Israel again." And I want you to pay careful attention to the very last paragraph of that section at the top of page 1049 in today's reading. This is a great summary of God's plan. "They will return to it, to the land, and remove all its vile images and detestable idols. I will give them an undivided heart and put a new spirit in them. I will remove from them their heart of stone, and give them a heart of flesh. Then they will follow my decrees and be careful to keep my laws. They will be my people, and I will be their God. But as for those whose hearts are devoted to their vile images and detestable idols, I will bring down on their own heads what they have done, declares the sovereign Lord." And then today's reading ends with this statement: "The vision I had seen," Ezekiel says, "went up from me, and I told the exiles everything the Lord had shown me." And so in today's reading, Ezekiel is taken from Jerusalem. He sees all these visions of what God is busy doing to punish those who have sinned and been unfaithful to him. And then he brings Ezekiel back into the presence of the elders where he was having a conversation in Tel Aviv. It's a fascinating reading, but again, the reminder is God is very serious about obedience. He was serious then. He's still serious about it today. The question we must ask ourselves is, are we faithful? Are we obedient? Isn't it great to be a lamplighter? His word is a lamp to our feet and a light to our path. I hope you have a blessed day.